Welcome everybody to Astro Monday. We are going to bring up Christopher Witecki onto the stage, and we're going to and beyond. Let me just call him up on the stage. And guys, let me know where you're coming in from and we go over some deep stuff. Sometimes we go into ancient civilizations like Atlantis. Sometimes we're talking about interdimensional beings. Sometimes we're talking about extraterrestrials. Sometimes we're talking about planets and asteroids and other galaxies and solar systems. But we're always talking about how it's relevant for us and how it's relevant for us today, how it's relevant for us this week. Olympia, Washington. Mick Dodge always used to talk about the National Forest, Olympia National Forest, the wettest rainforest in America. He always used to say. He used to live there too for 12 years. Hi, Ra and everyone. Let me call up Serious Joy. Christopher Witecki or on Instagram, or Serious Joy TV on Instagram. Calling him up. Let's see what happens. Mick Dodge is a legend. Yeah, I went and lived at his farm because he did 3 seasons on the Discovery Channel and then got some cash and bought some land, and I think I was there 10 days in the garage on a cot. All right. So one thing until we're waiting for Chris, guys, share what's been going on. How's the energy of your life been feeling? And see if you can really tune into that. Tune into, has it been hectic? Has it been pleasurable? Has it been joyful? Has it been, is it easy? Is it sophisticated, dynamic, compressed, expansive? What is going on in your life in the last week or so? Purging, that's a good one. Detachment, letting go. It's constantly inviting. Who's this? Oh, he's trying to go. A bit of off and on, a bit heavy off and on.
Brother,
What's up? I
how
like
are you?
I like that you're going incognito today.
Well, it's my anti-birthday today,
What does
so I'm
that
being
mean?
anti. I'm being anti. It's the opposite, exact 180 degrees from my actual birthday. It's like the lowest part of your year. You know what I mean? Like as you go away. Let's think about a 12 o'clock clock. You get to 6. It's 6 o'clock. So everything's been falling apart since 12. Or whatever. And now everything starts to build from this point up.
Oh, all right. So it's
The
like,
hero song. Yeah.
yeah, it's a straight up winter time.
Oh yeah, it's winter. It's winter, as you can see.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's applicable for everyone, obviously, right?
Yeah, I'm turning this into a teaching moment. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It well, everyone has their anti-birthday. It's the opposite of their birthday, but it's also your manifestation point. So wherever your anti-birthday is, that's the placement of the Earth when you were born, and that's the opposite step number is the one you have. So the Earth is where things materialize and how things materialize. So you're actually in your anti-birthday in the place where you're supposed to be materializing like crazy if you're doing it right, which I'm not. No, I'm doing
Oh,
okay, actually. I'm doing pretty. This year, I'm doing amazing. To be honest, this is probably the best anti-birthday I've ever had.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you're
but
doing less.
yeah, but it's well, yes, because I'm getting more for less. I don't know. This year's been a year about boundaries for me, and this is what Scorpio is. So this particular anti-birthday season, which is Scorpio, I've changed more rules with myself than I've ever changed in 1 month of my life. So, which is very uncomfortable to a Taurus. We like things staying the same, you know. We
Well,
like to.
for other Tauruses out there, could you give us an example of one rule change?
Well, a lot of rules have to do with the way I manage myself personally. So it's like, it's those little things in your self. Like, so in other words, when I'll come up with a funny joke at the end of a meeting, don't do it. Don't do it. Because it will keep you late in that meeting and then late for the next thing. So like
Yeah.
I'm like noticing my patterns as I like micromanage myself. Most of my big thing is like getting on time, like getting like squeezing more into less. Like that's what I'm trying to do. I want to be like Doctor Who, where it's like a phone booth, but you walk in, it's like a mansion. You know, like I want total, paradigm magic there, where I can do everything and still have time. So I'm having to find where it is I lose time. You know, and one of them is always I like to I just like to be entertaining, and I have to just be less entertaining and more formal.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everyone likes a good joke. That's why they stick around for more.
That's my life. I'm just a good joke. That's what I am. Yeah. No, I'm trying. I'm going towards the comedy. So it's those little things with yourself that you have to micromanage. I think as far as times. But there's also other tricks. Like for instance, if you're a person that tends to give away the house,
Hmm.
someone goes, "Hey, can I borrow a cup of sugar?" and you give them like the whole thing of sugar. It's like you should. I recommend the boundary of your answer always when someone wants to borrow something is, "I'll get back to you." You never answer in the moment. You always go away, put up a boundary between the two of you and the time, get your center, and then decide if you want it or not. In most cases, 99% of the times now, the answer is no. Whereas before I did that policy, it was 99% of the answers were yes. So I was saying yes to everything, but I didn't have the power in the moment. I just didn't have the power in the moment. I'm too much of a pleaser.
Hmm.
So I just can't. I don't want to deal with the feeling of you being rejected or you feeling bad or whatever. I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel you raw. So I just.
This
I
is
so
why every time I've ever seen you, you're sitting in a chair and you're just literally working for everybody in the room.
yeah.
Like, you're
Yeah,
like,
I'm human grasp. Well, yeah, well, that's a yes, yes. But I don't know. In that case, I'm on location. I'm meeting people in person. I'm really like high for that. Like I love that.
yeah,
But I need to actually take the next hour to not do something else. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And give myself a break. So I'm learning how to put in breaks. Remember, boundaries are space or time, one of the two, and that's what Scorpio is about. So most of us have got to change our boundaries because most of our boundaries were designed for getting around our problems and getting around our fears. Like that's most of us. And that's all of us who were born on earth, you know, before this year. So you're riddled with problems, you're riddled with mistakes in the past, you're riddled with guilt, you're just riddled with all this stuff. It's our karma. And so what happens is you create all these boundaries like, oh, I never go there to do that. I never do this and I never do that. And it's like all those are actually designed to like not trigger your stuff. They're not designed to make you the best person to be. They're designed to like not fail. And you don't want any knots when you create something. There should never be a knot. You should never do something so something doesn't happen. Because
Hmm.
that's a paradox and that goes nowhere. That's just your energy spins in circles. It gets stuck in knots, literally. So when you say not, I say I want to do. I say I protect not doing that. No, that you just basically said you're going to do it. Because ultimately you spun the energy right here, so that this energy spins a circle. It does not actually end up, doing what you want. So, and rather than say I'm not going to do that, I protect not doing that. I protect only doing this, and only doing this would mean that everything else would be a not. But you didn't say not. You said only
Right.
this. Right.
Yeah, it was a free flow. It was you tapping into potential energy. That's crazy because if I think about how the body works and fascia and muscle, it's the same thing. Like it's a knot, and then everything around it has to compensate for the knot, which then causes more quote knots. Um,
Yes. Literally, you're working out and massages and stuff. Yeah. And the fascia are actually a brilliant example of that truth. Yeah, you're right.
but
Absolutely.
yeah, thinking about it from like even just the way that we frame reality, every time we say knot, that's a
K,
knot. Like it's literally a
spelled
knot in
K-N-O-T.
your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, that's an evil spelling right there. I think some wizard somewhere made a new knot and made an N-O-T and they got rid of the K. And when they did that, they hid the fact that a knot can turn into a knot.
That's
That's what spelling
nuts.
is. That's spelling.
Yeah, it's spelling. It's literally a spell.
Literally spell. Because your mind is kept from. So what you want to do is the only thing the universe works is in positives, wills. There are no will nots. So we can discuss knots. We can use knots to discuss what a knot is. However, you want to be very clever and you want to say this is and only this. So you do onlys but not knots, right? But onlys are dangerous too. So I always do only or gooder. So that way you got a little back clause there in that spell says, if something's better, then bring it. Avoid all this. And there's always something gooder. So that pretty much says that your intention is to get this or gooder, which means you're going to be happier. There's no way, there's no other thing.
Is
So
there
I
a
would try,
reason why you're using gooder instead of better?
I use gooder because I put a spell on it. It's my spell. So when you say gooder, you're using my spell. I spelled that word. I created that word, just like a pharmaceutical created Viagra. I created gooder, and mine works much better than the guy at Viagra. Works on all sorts of things. My gooder and gooder. The
Okay.
other thing is like a gooder. Gooder is a way to see when you use words that have other meanings in your life, that have
Yeah.
sagas and things like that. Along comes those meanings. It's everything that is tied to those meanings in your mind, everything in your collective conscious. It's your collective conscious, a search result. So when you get gooder, you get crystal techie. Huh? I know I'm going good, but at least then there's possibility of gooder. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think you want to have. So when I come up with particular intentions, well, for instance, when I used to create, when I still create, but I usually have the title first. Like the title is the first thing I come up with. What's the title of the piece? Because for me, that title is the affirmation of what it is. And I just sweet. It's just a perfect, just right, just like Goldilocks right. And then from there, everything just kind of unfolds. That's the way I work. You know, some people don't come with a title until later. Some people have a working title. I'll sometimes have a working title, and sometimes I have to invent the word. I mean, quite often, as people know, I have to invent the word.
Mid-sentence sometimes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. Or the expression. So we're in a very interesting week, buddy. I predict that this is when the shit starts flying this week. I mean, flying. Yeah. First of all, Mercury's retrograde.
That's my house is a mess right now. It looks like a shitstorm came through my house because we're in the middle of moving. So that's
Oh,
personally that matches up. Like everything's everywhere.
well, that's what's about to happen. It's going to be like a hurricane or a tornado hit your land, whatever kind of event you're used to, your region. And what it is that, as I mentioned, people have realized they've healed over things, and they've realized they haven't healed over others. And so as a result, the boundaries, the jurisdictions of your life have got to change because now, for instance, we're going to hone in and put lots of attention on this. Probably this we're going to pull out attention. So these are step zeros. So we're changing the zeros in our life. So some things are being focused on, some things are being focused out, or just gone away. You just pop that zero and get rid of it. And so as a result, the shape of everything, geography, everything, deals, people interacting with people, it's all going to start to change very rapidly because when you change it from ground zero, step zero, you change all the steps ahead of it at the same time. Because everything builds from zero. So you change to zero, every step has to upgrade. Up one upgrades, two upgrades, three upgrades, they all upgrade. And what's crazy is they upgrade automatically. So all you have to do is really pretty much define zero, define one, which is your heart, define how you feel about it, which is two, and that's it. Let the universe take over. Don't even try to define what you believe, which is step three, because what you believe will be self-evident, and it will alter slightly as you start to see results happen. So it's 0, 1, 2. So today's step 18. I'm a step 18 Taurus. So step 18 is when you're committed in your heart to making change. It's change because it's action in boundary. So any action in boundary is a change, right? The only other action in boundary would be an enforcement of the boundary. So you might be enforcing boundaries today that you've had in the works forever. Like I told you 5 times. You say that again, I'm gonna fire you. You're fired. So there's that, but there's also and by the way, you'll have the courage today to say it. So today's the day. If you have a boundary you haven't enforced, y'all, I would very politely but firmly enforce that boundary today. So I'm sorry to do this, but I'm going to have to go ahead and close your account. Right? You just
On
enforce
in
it.
Mercury retrograde, we have an important conversation like that.
Well, Mercury, it's Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrogrades, Mercury retrogrades are actually really good times to redo something because what happens is your mind's going back now and playing back the steps it already had. So what happens is, yes, over the weekend you probably had a profound conclusion about something that has to change. So it's step 17 on Saturday, on Sunday, which is a decision. Like a decision was made, a commitment was made. 16 Saturday was like a lot of meditation. 15 Friday was us trying to get balance. So we tried to get balance on Friday. We found we weren't balanced. Then we're like, this isn't going to work. Then by Sunday, we're like, you know what? Da da da. Right? And so today it's, okay, put that into motion. And that's when Mercury's like, okay, you heard him, da da da, and retrograde. And so a lot of times there is a decision right before retrograde. Almost always a decision or an action. It's either shows you, ha ha ha, back to your corner, or I'm going to do this, bro. I'm gonna, and you make a decision. And so what happens is that for 3 weeks, you're like, well, if I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and da 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 da, and so you just start thinking backwards,
Ah.
basically to like, well, that meant the no, the no, the no, the no, and it's just like you're just going back like time machine on a Mac, and then you finally get to the stationary degree, the degree it rests at, okay, and where it rests at is sort of like what also must be now recalculated. So Mercury retrograde at step 6 Sagittarius. That is the step where you accept what you believe about yourself. So I would expect that people are saying, I no longer believe this about myself. I no longer accept this retrograde. No longer accept this. I don't believe this about myself. Now this has probably been in the works for a long time, right? We have these ideas that float in our heads, these contemplations. They come in the shower, they come on the road, they come at the weirdest times, and then it's all of a sudden it's just like when the step hits, it's like, yes, I no longer believe that. You come to that about myself. So there's a belief about yourself you no longer believe. All right. Mars is actually also in Sagittarius. So Mars, our ego, is ready to like start playing that role immediately. So usually that doesn't happen. Usually we think things through before we try it on. We're gonna try it on pretty quick, y'all. As soon as you're gonna start acting and behaving very quickly by this mental theory. It's a theory. It hasn't been ratified by Congress yet. Okay. So it's just a theory. It's just a bill in Congress, in your Congress, your Congress of States Awareness. So you go back. So step 6, it stays in step 6 all week. So all week, really, you're like, I don't really believe this anymore. And maybe you're like carrying it out, like, I don't believe that. Here's the reason why I don't. Here's another reason why I don't believe it. Honey, you see, I told you, I heard it. It's like, I don't believe it. So they're starting to not believe it. And then it goes to step 5, and it's like, my mind has concluded, step 5, Grandmaster 5, I no longer believe that. And then step 4 goes, well, then what do I belong believing? Right? And so where do I belong believing? I belong believing in something that makes me happy, makes me this, makes me that. Then step 3, well, what does that belief mean? Step 2, well, how does it make me feel? Step 1, does my heart really like that? Steps, and then it goes down to 0. All right, that's it. It's going to have to change. Then it goes back into Scorpio, Mercury. All right. And so when it goes back to
This is
Scorpio,
nuts.
yeah, when it goes back to Scorpio, it's like, well, if that's going to have to change, then everything's going to have to change. 29. I'm going to turn my house into a condo. 7. I'm not, therefore, my heart's not comfortable with this. 26. I'm getting out of this debate. 26. I'm quitting this thing. 25. 25. God says I should do that. That's part of my spiritual growth. 25, 24, 23, 22. Like, that means that miracle is not going to happen. 21, 20. Oh, shit. Then what do I think my future will be? So step 20 is what do I feel my future will be? So the mind gets down to all the way, and it sits there stationary because Mercury will stay stationary at that degree. But it'll stay there for like 4 or 5 days. What will the future be? And then all of a sudden, Mercury hits direct at 20. I think and feel it'll be this. And so at that point, you have changed your mind. Which is what a retrograde is. When people change their mind. We're good? We had no sound? We had bad sound?
Dude, that was cool. I hope everyone followed that
It's a good
because
one to clip out. Yeah.
yeah, that was awesome.
I'm going to
The
clip that out too. That was a good one. Well, so that's what it's going to be. So we're going to change our mind in this retrograde. Over the next 3 weeks, you're going to change your mind about how you're going to change your life. You thought you were going to change your life one way, but that was based on believing you were something. Now you're going to change your life a different way because you believe something else about yourself now that you didn't formerly believe. And what is the belief? It's what our heart, step 1, feels is true, step 2. What our heart feels. So problem is your mind might have said, you're this, you're this, you're this. And then somebody like, well, say a second. Does my heart feel this? Oh, shit. No, I don't feel that way. Then you don't believe it, right? There's never evidence, ever, when you're creating something. You cannot create something with evidence. So when you talk about your future, you're often wrong about what you believe because your heart
right.
felt one way and then your heart feels another way. Your heart changes. So you find out that Honda was bought out by blah, blah, blah. You don't heart feel that way. Your heart feels differently. When your heart learns things, it doesn't feel the same way. So we are always thinking, processing our hearts and our feelings. So today is step 18, Mercury retrograde, and we're saying, and this also quite often when Mercury is going backwards, the sun just blazes forward. So it's like, okay, I don't believe that about myself anymore. Well, let's go ahead and start the changes because we're at 18 Scorpio. Let's start the changes. So we hit 20 Scorpio on Wednesday. So we hit 20, our heart hits 20 Scorpio on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, our heart's like, I feel the future. My heart feels, my heart, step 1, the heart feels, step 2 and the 20, about the future, this space about the future. My heart feels the space about the future. Now, what the heart feels about the future is not what you think about the future, by the way. It's what your heart feels. Because your heart feels a lot of things, don't know what to think, right? I feel something, I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
I feel
Hmm.
something, but you feel it. So Your heart feeling on Wednesday is you creating a bubble. That's you getting pregnant with the future. Creating a big pregnancy like thing right there, which is a 0 and a 20. Your heart you get really pregnant. You're like, oh, I want all these things in the future, all these things in this bubble, and I feel it. So you get kind of pregnant, and
Right.
also it's a weird feeling because you're pregnant, so you feel a little off, and you have to like protect yourself, and you realize, oh, I'm pregnant now. With the future, I need to actually, be nice to my feelings. We don't want to upset the baby, right? So we don't want to upset the baby. So you go through that process, and then so Wednesday you feel it. Today you take action. Tomorrow you hold space. Like I'm gonna do it. Tomorrow's a hard day because tomorrow you'll want to give up, or all the reasons people will try to make you give up. Anyone that wants you to stay miserable will say, "Don't do that," right? And they want to stay miserable. They just want you to stay with
Right.
them and keep them company, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, sorry, dude, you gotta have to learn to
Yeah.
like grow.
They're holding
So
on to you.
yeah, totally. And they all do. And they all use every trick in their book. What? Hold on, hold on. What about the time you dated so and so? No. What about the fact you screwed me over when you were 10? So like, so they use every trick. And then so tomorrow's difficult in that sense, but that's where boundaries are most important. So if your heart feels that you are correct, I would tune the world out and not answer the phone. I mean, I'm now 19 days or me like out of the office. I'm as automatic on an office day. Boop. Sorry, I'm busy, man. I'm busy in the Wizards. I'm like in the Wizards den, like doing magic. There's sparks and stuff coming out. Like, stay away. 20s, then you start to feel like, I'm getting pregnant with this idea. You start to feel it. And this is where 20 through 29 in the step system is all how you feel and how you feel and how you feel and. So, how you feel, how you feel. So, you bring your whole self to the table because your feelings are a reflection of you in the center. So, your feelings are everything you feel about your whole life at any time. And the moon is updating one section of your life every 2.5 days, like one section of your life, and picking up on and reflecting and responding more. So the moon is like a nanny, like shows up, like picks up that part of your life, like nurtures it, dusts it off, cleans it up, and I'll see you in 28 days, kid. And the nanny's gone after a day and a half. So basically, that's how it works. Now that said, it's very important to have boundaries with your feelings more than anything right now because it's more important that you feel good than you do good. It's more important that you feel good than you do good, okay? It's more important that you feel good. It's more important that you feel good at the meeting than you actually have shown up prepared. It's more important that you feel good at school than you show up doing your homework.
Mm.
Okay, it's more
Yeah.
important because reality happens in the now. So if you feel good, chances are teacher won't even ask you in class something. Or teacher will like go off on a tangent and let you distract her or him. Right? Like so it's like so you're feeling good, you can get away with it. If you haven't done something right. If you feel good, people won't pick on you. People won't point you up, count, the bully won't like pick on you at the lunch table. So feeling good is super important because feeling good creates a gooder life, right? And so we want gooder than we've had before.
Hmm. Right.
And so that's the important thing. And then from there, it's like on Wednesday you feel good, and how am I stay feeling good? Then Thursday it's like, okay, and I feel good. I'm gonna feel towards my heart, like where's my heart want. So at step 21, when it starts to get fun, we're still supposed to be in the world, in the present, in Disneyland, and feel around for which attraction would be the hottest, like the most incredible fun thing. What's the most fun? And believe it or not, the most fun is the right way to go. And people go, how can that be? Because the most fun for me is racquetball, right? It's like, well, when you go to racquetball, you'll have that brilliant
Yeah.
idea.
Right.
Because when
Yeah.
you're in a state of fun, you are in a state of creation. That's it. So you're having fun, you are creating, all right? If you're not having fun, you're sitting there. So when we don't know where to go in life, fun is always the answer. Always. Because if you're in the state of joy, serious joy, even better, you're in a state of joy, you have unlimited potential, you see unlimited possibilities, you're like drunk with life. And so in that drunken state, a lot of times that's where God slips in the note. I can't tell
Hmm.
you how many inspirations I get when I'm enjoying another part of my life. If I'm in a moment, I'm saying, oh, I'm enjoying this moment with here on Raw. I'm like, oh my God, that's the solution. That's the solution for the, electron capacitor, so I can go back in time. Like the flex capacitor idea came to me on Raw. It's Raw. That's what I thought of it, right? So it's like it comes in because it's a high vibration. The
Right.
good idea is a high vibration. You're not going to draw it in because that's all we do is we draw on our thoughts. We don't have original thought. There is no such thing as original thought. We don't draw on our thoughts. We perform words, but we don't draw. And so we draw in that amazing thought when we feel amazing. You don't have amazing thoughts when you don't feel amazing. So if you don't have, if you're just like stuck for something, go feel amazing. It actually gets you in the mode to attract those thoughts.
So, okay. Yeah, I always say to make sure that you intend on a feeling, right? So everyone's worrying about what they have to do, but it's like, can you put some investment in choosing on how you're going to feel? But what you just said, I want to ask you about because you said there's no original thought. Is there original feeling? Like, are we choosing the feelings or are
No,
we
no.
attracting them?
Well, there is original feeling, as that's true. Uh, there's original feeling in the sense of your experience of it is new. So it's like, all right, there's God, there's a whole spectrum of all those feelings out there. Somewhere God has to do a decimal catalog where it's all like laid out. And it's like, you know, betrayed with a little bit of sour, betrayed with a little bit of jealousy. It's like there's all of them. Now you haven't had one cocktail or another because you haven't put yourself in an experience where they all mix together inside of you to make that interesting blend. So this is the first time I felt that way. First time I felt that way. Now, the next time I feel that way, when I feel that way, I will also drop by law of attraction the same memory of the time I felt that way before. And then that felt way before, felt that way before. So what happens is if it's just like a painful betrayal or something really mean, and you go, whoa, that is the first time I've ever felt betrayed, backstabbed, and kicked in the ass at the same time. That's amazing. Who can even think of that? So then what happens is you feel that, you keep feeling that, you keep feeling that. Because you keep feeling it and you don't release it, you draw in the same formula. Another time where you're kicked, backstabbed, kicked in the ass, whatever. Right? And so it's like, whoa, that's the second time that's happened. I'm starting to feel all these things and pissed. All right, now the daisy chain is all these things and pissed. And I'm still pissed about all these things. Oh, you're still pissed, huh? Well, we're going to track that
Yeah.
again. Okay? So what you feel is what you attract. It's not that you want to block your feelings. You want to say to your feeling, you want to release them. You want to forgive them and go, thank you, feelings. You're right. You feelings, you taught me this. You taught me that, first of all, people like that can make me feel this, this, and this, and this in a row. That's tell me. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for telling me that I don't like this. Thanks for reminding me of that because I always think about, I don't like this. And I think that's all you have to tell me, right? Everything's the same again? Same again? All right, you're dismissed. Thank you. I love you. I forgive you. Go, please. Go play. Go back in the ocean and swim. So the feelings are dismissed. They are forgiven. All right. So
Yeah.
why we forgive people is we have to forgive the feeling. The feeling will stay there until you forgive it. It doesn't go. Right. Or you live it. So you sit there like, and it's gone. And all of a sudden the energy is used up. So it has so much energy and it gets used up. If you play the energy of the feeling, it will get used up. So the idea that people go, they're afraid the feeling will stay forever. They're actually, what they're doing is they're very, very low, and they keep injuring the baby on top of the wound. So they're feeling bad, and then they knock themselves in the bad spot. Now they feel bad, so they keep re-upping the energy, re-injuring. So if you feel bad and you re-injure, then you can stay in that for a long time. But feelings, as a rule, are just a message, a complex message. It's the biggest hard drive God has is a feeling. So if it's
Yeah.
something very complex to you, it's going to come in a form of feeling. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. There's a lot more information in it. It's dynamic, more dynamic than like a word, a thought. That's how
Incredibly.
thoughts come in, right? The thoughts come in. How come thoughts come in like language? That's
They really don't actually,
okay.
because I tell you all the time. I'm like, what I'm talking about. What's his name? Yeah. So it's like the information was there. I just can't think of his fucking name. Like I can't think of the language.
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
him. I
Yeah.
just can't think of his. I got his face. I got what it looks like naked, everything. But what's his name? Like you just can't get his name. So that's where that's the information is there before the word really,
Mm,
and then we slap the word on at the last minute. That's why words are so stupid.
right.
They're very slow and very stupid. Yeah.
Inefficient. Yeah. I like you said that to thank these feelings that we'd like to
Yeah.
dismiss. And yeah, because if we're resisting them, what you resist persists, right? So forgiving
Yes.
and acknowledging their importance and how they served you in the past, it's all relevant for this
Yes.
aspect.
That comes from Gary, by the way. Gary Lyman gets that credit. He taught me the thank you part. But when I analyzed Gary, I realized, oh, it's brilliant because it's like gratitude is the attitude of receiving. So if you're going to receive someone if you're going to really receive it, take it to heart, which means you ingest it, you eat it, you consume it, however you want to look at it. You take the gift, you accept the gift, right? To accept the gift, gratitude is the attitude of receiving. Gratitude is how you accept the gift. Feelings. Oh, I sound like Dr. Emoto. Oh, feeling water. I love you so much, water. You are so good. You know, so when you accept that, it's like, thank you. Gratitude is like, thank you for teaching me this. Thank you, water. Thank you. You know, when you thank the water, you're grateful. Your head bows. You don't have any attachments. You're like, bow. You don't have any attachments, you know, because you're grateful. You bow your head, right? You show them your crown. That's what you're doing. Just show them your crown. That's your most sensitive spiritual spot. So what
Yeah.
happens to that? So this week, what we're doing is we are launching a transition of our life, whether we're aware of it or not. Some people who are aware will be reactive only and just like in, you know, in a fight scene in a movie, and they don't understand what's going on because you saw none of it coming because you weren't paying attention to anything about life, and so when it showed up, it was a surprise. For those of us who are in this business, it's exactly as we felt and more, right? Like so, you reach a stage where many people as subscribers, we have subscribers at Serious Joy for 10 years. Of our 10-year subscribers coming up in May of next year. Okay, it's like 10 years. They're the masters now. They're master path people. In other words, when you're a master path, it's everything you expect and more. Life is always everything you expect and more. You no longer are surprised when you reach that master path. That's because you're in the flow of the feeling. And when you're in the flow of the feelings, when you're in the 20s and above, you feel stuff starting to get wonky way before it blows up. Like way, you feel, oh, that shit, I don't know, he's trying, funny, he's feeling out of shape. Watch it, ah! You know, like you can see, you feel it coming in, you feel it coming in. And it's really the force. I mean, the more and more I think about it, when George Lucas made Star Wars, man, he did such a gift to humankind. Oh my God. Because the idea of the force, feel the force, it combines us. If it was a brilliant way of introducing magic and and the force of your feelings. Luke, search your feelings. You know, it's like he was always talking about feelings to a warrior. It's brilliant because that's what it is. You will feel things off. You'll feel things off. You'll feel them correct themselves. So you learn to like go, okay, no need to worry if it's gonna. Who
Right.
knows? Like once you feel a few times that like it was gonna happen. I've had things with this with a and I've been in readings and I've been a reader where I said to the client, oh, I feel like this might happen, and they're like, what? And I'm like, actually, I feel that gone now. You know, their reaction to the knowledge is like no fucking way. They said, and so it is. You know, they did not as of okay, that's it. That's one of the benefits of getting readings, by the way, is if you're not able to feel those things for yourself, all you have to do is listen. If you don't like it, it's not happening. And they're like, he was a horrible reader. Well, you said no to everything. So, you're like, so all right, all good, that kind of thing. And then what happens is then things really start to get liquid on Friday, step 22. Okay. So in step 22 next Friday, what happens is all the feelings come together and start bouncing off each other like molecules, right? And so it's complicated, but think about this. Think about like if you're playing pool and balls could stick together too. So they can stick together or they can go apart. So like the 2 ball hits the 5 ball, but sticks to the 5 ball. That's weird. And then the 5 ball, which was stuck to the 6 ball, 6 ball's like, fuck you, 5. I don't like 2. So like what happens is like you start attracting things that you feel you belong with, but then things that don't belong, who are attached to you don't feel they belong with that where you belong, then don't feel they belong with you. So that's the tips of the equation for them. They go skyrocketing off, and so you get this like chaos of spaghetti known as Donald Trump. He's a step 22 Gemini. That's what he does. He creates these very easily with words.
Oh
And
yeah, that's yeah.
people's feelings like get all bent out of shape, which is evidence of how out of shape they were in the first place, right? We ought to be able to hear something and not be upset, right? Right? Not want to, go, pick it. So that's how we ought to be. But so everything that's falling into disarray was dangerously close to falling apart, anyways. By the way, anybody who's like really upset was dangerous to falling apart to everything in life. You were dangerous to fall. If you're that upset about anything, you're way too reactive to your feelings. And if that's the case, when your feelings start reacting because they're all upset, and you just go wah, and you react more, well, then you make a monster of something coming to you. You're making a tidal wave of magic you don't want, and that's what happens. People they become hysterical, and so that feeling becomes so overwhelming that they don't know how to deal with it, and they don't realize it's just a feeling. Like just let the drug wear off; it'll take a few minutes. They don't realize that, and so they start panicking. They panic. Then the adrenaline comes up. Then the feelings get more intense. The responses get more incredible. If you don't know how to respond, do not respond. No response. If you don't know how to respond, do not respond. Do
Yeah, a
not.
lot of times our responses or our reactions tie us into like it's like now you cross the line, now you have to fight for that position because you took that stance. When
It's usually an overreaction because you're not upset. You're upset, right?
yeah,
It's inappropriate. It's out of. It's out. It's look. You surprised me. People still try to surprise me, and it pisses me off. Because I have this warrior in me that will overreact 10 times. I will overreact. I do. I'm still calming down inside. Like from a lot of things, and so I mean, and you may go, you didn't seem like you overreacted, Chris. I'm like, well, I'm a ballet artist. I'm trying to be smooth. So maybe it's not, but I overreact. And the thing is your response to yourself is the most important response there is. It doesn't. Your response to the outer world actually means nothing. Nothing. How you respond to the world really means nothing. It's rude to not respond. There's certain ethics and things in the playbook, but technically, you could never respond, and everything would be fine. People will be bored and won't want to play with you anymore because they want a reaction. But everything will manifest accordingly. And so I find a lot of times, but now completely, it's how you respond to yourself, right? Now, here's the thing. You start myself, I go, so the first thing I say to myself, like, it's okay. It's okay. We'll see what he meant. We'll see what he meant. Like I have to immediately call myself, like, it's okay. It's okay. We're not feeling like this. Don't let this person get to us. That's not cool. They're not cool. We're cool. We're cool, right, buddy? Yeah, they're not cool. You just have to boundary. I'm cool. They're not. That's a boundary. Judgment is a boundary, by the way. When we judge people, we create boundaries. So a good, easy boundary method is to judge the mofo. It's like, what? You're not supposed to judge people. Says who? Who said, why would God create judgery if there's no judgment?
yeah, we have this ability, right? We're
Well, there's a
like,
reason. Should it last forever? No. I mean, if we want to write the good qualities of judgment, it should last for default 60 minutes. I'll say judgment should last 60 minutes. It's official for 60 minutes, and then we'll see if we'll continue that judgment or not. It's a temporary judgment. I think all judgments should be temporary judgments, which they are anyways, because as soon as you find out you're wrong, now you feel like a jerk because you've officially judged someone, and it's like, no, he was taking his mother to the hospital. That wasn't a Parcheesi event. Like, wow, oh man, like we do that, and we realize we do that because we're not responding to ourselves, and so we tend to be over responsive. But if you do not respond to them, then you stop the fire right there. Like, if there's no response to them, okay, then you have given yourself a boundary of space time. Boom, boundary. And then with myself, also a no response. It's like, hold on, let's get out of here first. Let's get out of here so
mhm,
I can deal with this. I'm gonna take myself to the vault and take myself to a private space where none of my reactions are gonna create some sort of overreaction. I'm gonna just be chill right here. It cannot be responded to in the moment. Plus, my standard saying is like, I'll get back to you. I never
yeah,
respond correctly because I need that time to respond to myself correctly. Because because I've felt like this before. I felt like this before again. There's another time in another life I felt like this. There's those two times my mom did this. I felt like this. So there's all these times I felt like this. So what happens is when that person does the same thing that all these times have happened, they all come light up. Right? They're just lighting up because they're a match in the search result. Now that match goes. It's a huge emotion. Like suddenly your energy's like, whoa, right? The body's like, cue adrenaline, cue adrenaline. It's like, because suddenly there's a lot of emotion. We have a lot of things to make happen. The fascia are all like, giving you all your, feeding into all your fibers, like all the truth and the crystalline. So it's like crystalline's like firing off all this. And so all this information comes to the surface all of a sudden. All this information comes to the surface. The information of the time you had it last time, information that motherfucker did it, then how you felt after that. And then when he did that, I felt this way for weeks. So that's tied to it, and that's tied to it. And we lost the pony, that's tied to it. Like, I love that pony. It's like, so all these things that are tied to that one feeling come up active in your RAM, right? And so what do you want to do? RAM. Like
yeah,
most fight
right,
or flight. Then the ego kicks in. It's like whoop whoop. We got a 10 code 9 alert. Like attack. It's like whatever it happens to be. Run, fight. Like I'm getting out of here.
yeah,
Fight, you motherfucker, or flee. Those are the options that the ego says. We got two options: fight or fly. We're gonna fight this motherfucker, or we're gonna leave. As the ego basically gives you two options. Now I think that an evolved ego gives you three options. If you want to know how to get out of that one, it's fight, flight, or wait. Wait. Let's just wait a second. We can just wait a second. The waiting helps everybody. Nobody wants
Mm.
to fight anyways. The more you wait and stall, the more the energy it comes down from its escalation, and you can kind of see what it is, right? So wait is that fight, flight, or wait, fight, flight, or wait. That's the evolved ego, in my opinion. Got a little code in there. I've hacked in my ego, put in there. So the reason why this is so important to know now is because once we get to step 20, it's everyone's feelings are first. Everyone's putting out these emotional molecules. Everyone's putting out these molecules everywhere, right? So it turns into a popcorn machine, like run by a nuclear plant, like, in the middle of like an ET festival. Like it's just like, what the, like, just you built like so much popcorn popping. Each kernel is like someone's, the nerves popping because that was the last. They just can't know if they can handle holding all this information every time someone says this. They just don't, it's getting heavy. These feelings are getting heavy. I'm getting depressed on these feelings, right? So it's the heaviness of the feelings being active and always current. And so once you have enough feelings of stuff, then your body starts going, it starts getting drunk from all the hormones and stuff. Body starts breaking down. Can't do it. It's too tired. Like the body starts. And so this is what happens. We are caught under our feelings. And that's really why humans are immature. We don't know how to manage them. We don't have any clues for them. Which is why, my friend, I'll announce now that I'm going to teach a class. So I just wrapped up the intro to step astrology
Intro.
class. Yeah, it was amazing. I was oh my God, I learned things I didn't know. Because once you start putting on paper, making graphs and
Right.
stuff, you're like, stuff. But it was brilliant. It'll be available to be taken again. So it'll repeat itself in spring, February. Also, we'll have the next two classes. So that was A and B, which was basically 0 through 11. We'll have C and D, which is the next decan coming in February. So we'll have A, B, C, and D all concurrent. But you have to take A and B before you take C and D, just so you know. So that's cool. In the meantime, I'm going to teach something called Mastering Self-Love. So I'm going to do a live workshop with our subscribers on Sundays now. On Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And so we're spending about an hour and a half workshopping Mastering Self-Love because no one knows how to do it, even me. Like I have some theories and stuff, but I feel like we need to master step 0. Like how do we love step 0? How do we love step 1? And start working on it. It's going to be probably about 4 months for me to get all of them shot. So, we're writing subscribers who went with us before and said, come back. We got a great program for you. We want to help you like for this next era. Because I feel like if we don't master self-love, we need to master self-love before really May of next year. We really need to master self-love before May of next year. If you do that, I feel you will be, what's the word? I don't want to say bulletproof because that's not the right thing. You'll be frequency proof. You'll be, you'll not be affected by what's going to happen, which is the world going popcorn like you've never seen before. And that's what it is. And it's because they're filled with these emotions that have not been released. So everyone's a ticking popcorn machine, nightmare. Everyone's ready to like just go popping off with all these kernels. And so something's going to make it, something's going to start it. Like, I don't know what's going to start it, but and so that kernel hits me in the eye, motherfucker. And then it's like, your kernel start going off and then, John, so we just all start popping off, except for those of us who have mastered self-love. Because if you were just like sitting there like loving yourself while everyone's making popcorn, you're going to be just like, you'll be fine. You'll be sitting there just like, like you have one or two, it'd be great. Have a soda there. It'll be totally chill. And unfortunately, I don't feel, because humans haven't burned this off, there's no way around it. I don't
Yeah.
see. We can't ascend the earth. Everyone's so upset all the time.
Right.
So
So that
something's
has to
going to upset you.
resolve.
Something's going to upset you. And whatever upsets you had to, because you weren't going to deal with it, obviously. Making everyone in your block have constipation and diarrhea because you are so emotionally a furnace in the end of the block. Hey, man, sorry. You were becoming a hazard. So this is how God Universe does it. It's like God's been laying on one peaceful thing after another. Like we had all these step ones, all these trends. If you watch this day to day or on Pep Talk on SiriusStory.com, you hear every day like, wow. Whenever God says, "Let there be peace," and "Let there be peace," and "Let there be peace," He's really saying, "Let every popcorn machine go off," because that means that's the only way to get peace is they have to go off. So we've been seeing this. Our staff is seeing, this looks like some peace coming. And that means that we are going to have to get rid of what disturbs the peace first.
Right. So you're saying that's May, but we started the show. You said this week something was going to happen, which is
No,
actually
I think this
crazy.
is the week. I think the first popcorn starts popping.
Yeah.
I think it's preliminary popcorn. You know, like this is like when they first discovered that popcorn could pop. I mean, some things go off that makes a lot of things pop. I mean, I've been watching. I can't gauge. I've been watching. I've not been watching the news. I'm trying to find a good way to watch news. And I just can't. I just don't know how to get the information in my head without popping off. But
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
the same way. I find out about things like just randomly on social media. Um,
yeah.
because the news is it's too much. It's too filtered to only give you the negative. If it bleeds, it
Oh,
leads.
yeah.
But actually,
Yeah.
speaking of bleeding, 2 days ago I broke up a dog fight of pit bulls in front of my house,
Oh
and
wow,
it
that was brave.
resulted on one of the dogs dying. Two dogs
Oh,
on one. I had to pull the two pit bulls off, like risk my, self in the process, and
that was
it was crazy. It was like one of those experiences where you're not. I got through it, and I was like, wow, I really wasn't like I don't know. It was like it was a dream almost. But it
Minnesota.
yeah, yeah. But it did feel like pretty traumatic, like within our house because my wife saw it and she fell and like almost got bit and like there's like it was like a big thing that happened this weekend. But I think
Wow.
personally for me, like that definitely felt like a death of I mean it literally was one of the dogs died. So
Wow.
um
I wonder if that was that could have been a past life moment. So it's
yeah.
funny. Who knows? I have to be there to like feel it out, but you could have been killed. But it's possible you could have been killed, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And
yeah.
chances are, last time you were killed, that this happened. And the lesson was, don't do that. Don't rescue these dogs. Like, and I would say the same with the popcorn. Guys, don't get in the way of someone's popcorn brawl. Do not. Don't stop it. You do not have the reserves that they have of anger to win that fight. You just don't. You don't have that. I mean, if you've been healing yourself, like with Ra's work and Human Garage and Serious Joy, you don't have it in you to win that fight. A lot of times people win that fight because there's so much pain behind their work. There's so much pent up pain. That's the force that knocks them down. If you don't have all that pain, you really don't have much motivation naturally to hurt someone. So yeah, be careful. And same with dogs. It's like I feel that was a past life recreation. Um, yeah, it feels like that. It feels like you got. I don't feel you died in the past life, but you got really maimed. Like I see a scar on your face from it
Mm.
in the past life. Yeah, really maimed. And you're so vain. That was a horrible lifetime from that point on because ruined your modeling career as a caveman. It was hard.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so if we go back to like you originally said this week, if you want to tell somebody like no, then do it. And then was there anything else that we needed to be aware of this week?
Well, just that your mind's moving backwards, and that means that officially you don't have to complete anything right now. You can complete anything that's behind. You can complete anything you've been in the works, anything you planned already. Yes, take advantage of this time. So I do the most. I mean, you're going to see Serious Story change completely by the direct, like changed. Why? We spend the entire direct like planning what we wanted. We didn't have the time to actually change till the retrograde. So that happens. Everything goes retrograde. Everyone's like, we're like, perfect. Let's start playing with stuff. We start changing. So we come in like elves. Everyone's asleep. We come back, and it's all done. So it's a very good time to do anything you planned ahead of time. Anything you planned ahead of time, you're great. If you don't get a chance to, if you, it's like, I've got an idea in this retrograde. Hold on. Okay. Just put that idea aside. It's possible. It may seem brilliant. It may seem a lot of things, but we don't trust ideas that come during retrograde because you're really moving back in your life and some idea comes. Sometimes that idea, when you're moving backwards, is part of the backwards lesson that is brilliant, is profound, is important, but is not what you'll end up doing. By the time Mercury goes, so Mercury will go all the way, it starts at 6, goes down to 20, stops, and then goes back up, and it crosses the sun twice. So the sun's like right here. It's like, hi, mom. And right, like, hi, mom. It goes again. That's a Kazemi, by the way, when it crosses the sun. So when it crosses the sun, that's when the mind and heart get together. Like, so the Mercury comes back to the sun. It's like, Yes, yes, you're right. We do need to do that. Cool. And then Mercury keeps going back, and the sun goes forward, and then Mercury stops, and then catches up to the sun, and then passes in front of the sun again. This is the way we process everything in our consciousness. So you're gonna, first Mercury's going back. So now, the first thing that's gonna happen is Mercury's gonna head back to the sun, and you're gonna admit you have a problem when the sun and Mercury consume you. Like, that's the problem. You'll understand because you'll understand from step 1 to step 5. Step 5 is, I think, step 1 is love. So you're 1 to 5, like, bing, something cleans out. At that point, Mercury goes back, like, well, how did this happen in the first place? I'll find out, Mom. So Mercury starts going back and looking back behind the sun, and looking, well, there's that time, and then I did, oh, here's the wrong turn, Albuquerque. So Mercury 20. I felt, we were here together before. I felt it was going to be this way, but now I don't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel it's going to be this way. Ah, okay, let's go this way. So then Mercury's
Yeah.
like, so it's like, well, that's the case, and then that's how Jack built. That's what and so anymore. And then the sun, Mercury goes up the sun's like, we're gonna kick ass. So that second Kazemi is like, shit, yeah, And then Mercury's just like, wow, like bursts in the future. At that point, your mind's out in the future. There's also future past stuff. So right now, Mercury's in the future, looking in the past. Right?
Yeah.
So Mercury's in the future looking into now. Like, how the fuck did we get lost? That's what it's like. What the fuck? Mercury's like literally like, what? Oh, Jesus. We missed the exit, right? So the retrograde is like, beep, beep. You come back and you're like, well, I don't know. The whole thing is kind of weird. Once the sun and Mercury hit, it's like, oh, got it. So you're kind of confused that first part of Mercury retrograde because you're like, you don't know what happened. You know who you hit. You know what happened. You're going back to the scene of crime or scene or whatever. Once the sun and Mercury comes in, it's like, aha, that's the problem. Then it's like, we need more investigating. How do we do that in the first place, right? At that point, the heart goes, well, I'm going forward with creating. And Mercury goes, I'm going back to keep doing more investigation. So your heart goes forward, at least knowing what you and Mercury have come up with. And the heart's like, starts creating. And so then Mercury comes up behind the sun, which is like, hey, Mom, you forgot this. Oh, you forgot this, Mom. So mind like picks up all the shit you forgot. And then when they come together as one, it's like, aha, now watch out, world. So in this particular case, it's from step 20 Scorpio to step 6 Sag, which means that you're going to change. You're going to completely change your life, and where all the boundaries are when it comes to the world. To the world. So the world. So it's like you can have boundaries for yourself that don't apply to the world. You apply, and vice versa, right? So it's like, yeah, you have a, It's like, yeah, we do it all the time. It's like. Yeah, pay your taxes. Except, of course, if you're writing off this. There's always that, like, except for you, or vice versa. So you have different rules for the world, and so it's based on your emotional comfort zones. I've been meeting so many people moving to Palm Springs right now. I cannot tell you. It's like, it's a cliche, right? So many people. Why? I just feel like I should. So people are following their feelings. And so, as a result, I used to feel that LA was cool, but I don't feel that way anymore. Change of feelings. I feel differently about this part of the world, LA. I feel differently about this part of the world. I feel differently about my family. People feel different. They feel different because they faced their karma or they didn't. If they didn't face their karma, they're going to go find somewhere, how, a duplicate of what they just lived with new cast members. So
Mm-hmm.
just recast it. So if everyone in your life learned but you will go on to you'll be like, oh, good, it's a new opportunity to a new city. And, oh, my God, all these new people. And you're like, oh, my God, it's the same story. Because you manifest the same story. If you solve your stuff that you had questions over, you no longer question, you're no longer holding on to the vibration. You're like, yeah, I'm done with that. It's boring. Then you move on to something truly new. So what's going to happen is in this Mercury retrograde, and because we're talking about when it comes out of shadow, it comes out of shadow in December. So it's a lot longer than 3 weeks, like 6, almost 7 total, right? In that time, you will not recognize your life.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
Or realize you're in a sequel to the same bad film. And that would be,
Yeah.
if that's
I
the
mean,
case, I don't know if I can help you. My past life helped, man. Yeah. I
hey,
can help you just
so
watch the tapes.
the Mastering the Self-Love course, is that in the pipeline? Is there somewhere that people can pre-sign up for that? What's the
So
details on that?
details are it'll be November 30th. It'll begin after Thanksgiving. Weekend after Thanksgiving. It'll be an hour and a half, and it will be if you're a subscriber in Serious Story, you are auto-enrolled. Although you'll still have to enroll officially in Serious Story because we have a Serious Story Academy. That's where we enroll classes. So if you're a Serious Story subscriber, you got to enroll because we want to know who took the course and who didn't. Okay, we want to know for reasons that we will not tell you. Then if you have not, if you don't want to subscribe to Serious Joy and you don't want this amazing 4-month program for basically the cost of our subscription for a month, so $80, then you can go ahead and pay the $450 it is in the store. So go ahead and pay the $450 and be a part of the class. It's like I'm just make the economics like so obvious it's not even funny. But go ahead and pay it. Some people want to pay it because they want their freedom, whatever. It's fine, we get it. That course will be available probably the next couple days. I kind of spoke a little too soon. I wasn't planning on actually selling it today, but I actually feel like you should just join Serious Joy, guys. It's $3.99 a month, and there's nothing like it on the planet that will help you keep your emotions in check every day. We help you every day.
Yeah.
So that's $3.99 for the first month, $19.95 after. Yeah. But if not, I'll have the details. Next time I see you, Rob, I'll have the details. Starts at the end of the month. So we have plenty of time. I recommend taking it because we're going to be doing some spiritual calisthenics. In fact, I would like some human garage rep on this.
There you go.
I would like to do a couple human garage segments about the fascia. I mean, I think it's time I tell my people about this if they don't know already. If it isn't obvious, I'm with you guys every Monday, but fine. But I feel like there's a lot that goes into mastering self-love. A lot of it's maintenance on yourself, and Human Garage has got that down, man, down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, human body stuff. You guys are the number one provider, in my opinion. Yeah,
Cool.
I think. Yeah, in the whole world. Yeah.
All right, everybody go to what's the website? SeriousJoy.com.
SeriousJoy.com. Come on
Yeah.
down. Say hi to us. Hang out. We're gonna be hanging out, and we're gonna be hanging out every Sunday from now on. I will tell you, my show is moving to Sundays too soon. So when this retrograde is up and it's direct,
And is this the show that you do on YouTube? Is that what you're talking
my free
about?
show on YouTube, Namaste Today, it's becoming
Yeah.
Step Astrology now. It's going to become Step Astrology now, and it's going to be on Sunday nights, going against 60 Minutes. We think we're going to kill 60 Minutes. We're going to kill them in the ratings. Yeah, don't watch that
Yeah.
show anymore. So we're going to get 60 Minutes, pretty much on Sundays soon. So that's going to be a Sunday night show, and
Okay.
that show will be taped live now. So it'll be me up there live working Sunday nights, but that's okay. I pretty much don't feel like I should go out on Sunday nights anyway, so it's cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a big cost. It's an investment for you.
Oh, geez, yeah. Because you end up on Monday with glasses. You gotta be careful. So thank you,
All right.
Ross. Always a pleasure, dude.
Yeah. Thanks. And it's that Mercury retrograde breakdown was amazing. So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Go back and re-listen to that, everyone.
I'm gonna cut that out. Yeah, and put it on my thing. That's great. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Much
All right.
love. Remember, just gooder, pause, and wait to respond.
Serious joy.
Joy, joy, joy.